When Amara opened the forgotten library door, the books whispered her name. She thought she came to find her mother, but what waited inside was waiting for her. And the only way out was to give something she could never take back. The road narrowed to a broken vein of stone, barely wide enough for a bicycle, let alone the footsteps of a girl carrying the weight of grief on her back. Trees flanked either side, tall and brittle, their bare arms crisscrossing the sky like a warning. Amara walked carefully, her boots silent against the damp earth. Fog curled low to the ground, swallowing the moss-covered roots. The forest whispered in tongues she didn't understand, yet felt somehow she had always known. Sitting on her shoulder was an owl, small, snow-feathered, and strangely still. Solace. He didn't blink much, he didn't hoot or flap unnecessarily. His large amber eyes seemed to drink in the world and stay quiet about what they saw. He had been with her for almost a year, found injured at the foot of a grave in a cemetery she wasn't supposed to visit. That day, she'd been searching for her mother's name. She hadn't found a gravestone, but she had found solace. Or maybe he had found her. Since then, he never left. Amara didn't ask questions, not out loud, because part of her knew the owl wasn't just an owl, and because no one ever believed children when they spoke of magic. The gate creaked open like it resented her touch. Wrought iron, rusted, curling like a question that no longer expected an answer. A single plaque, nearly worn clean by time, read, "Ashcroft Memorial Library, established. 1811, we remember what the world forgets. It was a lie. No one remembered this place anymore, not even the maps. But Amara had read about it in her mother's journal. Her mother, Evelyn Ashcroft, a folklorist, librarian, and the whisper in every shadow of Amara's life. She had vanished in this very village before Amara was born. No one had spoken of her since. No funeral, no answers. Just a locked journal in an attic chest that Amara picked open on her 12th birthday. Inside, among pressed ferns and cryptic notes, was one entry she never forgot. The library still breathes, it watches, it remembers. I will go to it one last time, if it lets me in. And now Amara stood at its gate. Solace stirred on her shoulder. His talons gripped a little tighter. "I know," she whispered. "We're not supposed to be here." He didn't reply, but the stillness in him deepened. Inside the library courtyard, fallen leaves covered cracked stone like a faded tapestry. A crumbled statue of an angel, head missing, wings moss-covered, stood sentinel near the arched entrance. Windows, most shattered, stared out like hollow eyes. The library itself was crooked, not ruined, but resisting decay. Like it remembered its shape, even as the world tried to erase it. She stepped through the doors. The scent hit her first. Dust, parchment, wax, something faintly sweet like dried rose petals. Light filtered through stained glass in a dozen fractured colors, painting the air with solemn hues. Bookshelves loomed like ancient trees, cobwebs strung across arches. Dust spiraled in slow dances, and somewhere deeper in, a sound, a soft rustle, like pages turning. Solace launched from her shoulder and glided silently ahead, his wings cutting through the light. "Wait! Solace!" She ran after him, feet echoing too loud in the hollow chamber. The whispers followed, gentle at first, like wind through reeds, then louder. Voices? Names? She wasn't alone. She never had been. She found solace in a reading room long surrendered to dust and rot. The wooden floor was buckled. A broken chair leaned near a fireplace filled with ash. At the center of the room stood a glass case, cracked but intact. Inside it, a book bound in forest green leather. Embossed initials, E.A. Amara's breath caught. "Mom!" Solace hooted once, low and hollow. The air shifted. She smashed the glass. The second her fingers touched the cover, the room shuddered. Lights blinked out. Cold surged through her bones. Whispers rose like a tide, overlapping, echoing, too many to separate. Then, a voice, clearer, closer. Amara. She turned. A figure stood in the dark, a woman, not quite solid, not quite gone. Her features blurred at the edges like ink in water. Her eyes looked like Amara's own. "You shouldn't be here," the ghost said. "It's too late." Amara's voice cracked. "Mom?" But the figure was already fading. Solace swooped down and landed at her feet. He clicked his beak, tilted his head toward the book. It fell open on its own. Pages flipped rapidly until one stopped with a snap. In her mother's familiar handwriting. "I am part of the library now. The keeper watches. Solace is the last protector. If you're reading this, the library has remembered you too." Amara stumbled back. "I didn't come to be remembered," she whispered. "I came to bring you home." Solace hooted again, 3 soft notes in a minor key. He began walking toward a narrow hallway. She followed. Deeper and deeper they went. The library rearranged itself around them. Staircases appeared where none had been. Doors vanished after they passed through. The air grew warmer, more awake. Finally, they entered a vast circular chamber. It was beautiful. Marble floors inlaid with gold script. Shelves climbing to the dome overhead, filled with books whose titles shimmered and changed. In the center, a pedestal, and on it, a single lantern. Its flame was blue, pale, not flickering but breathing. Solace flew to it. Amara stepped forward, drawn like a moth. Then, the voice returned. Not her mother's, deeper, ancient. "You seek to unbind the soul that lingers, but all memory must have a price." Solace turned to her. His feathers glowed faintly. The owl stared. "I am the keeper. Evelyn was my bond. Her ritual failed. She remains. If you free her, another must stay." The words fell heavy. Solace flew down beside her, eyes bright with sorrow. She whispered, "Is that why you came to me? Because you knew I'd finish it? Number, I came because you were hers, and because you loved, even when you were forgotten." The lantern flared. The whispers returned, louder, urgent. Figures emerged from the corners of the chamber. Old librarians, scholars, guardians. Their faces were blurred, but their sadness was sharp. Then her mother stepped forward, more clear than before. Evelyn. Her dress faded, her hands translucent, but her smile, real. "I'm so sorry," Evelyn whispered. "I didn't want this for you." "I can fix it," Amara said. "Just tell me how." Her mother's eyes filled with tears. Solace answered, "One must give. Choose what you leave behind, your voice, your memories, or your bond with me." Amara froze, her voice, how she soothed herself to sleep, her memories, every moment of her mother's face, her laugh, her scent, her bond with Solace, the only soul who ever stayed. She closed her eyes, made her choice. When the light faded, the whispers were gone. The books were quiet. The lantern still glowed. Amara stood alone. Solace perched beside her, still white, still gentle, but different. His feathers no longer shimmered. His eyes no longer held ancient sorrow. She reached to her throat and tried to speak. Nothing came. She had given her voice, but Evelyn was gone, freed. Her soul no longer tied to crumbling stone and forgotten shelves. Amara had chosen love and silence. Years passed. Villagers spoke of the girl who lived near the ruins with a snow-white owl. She never spoke, but she listened better than anyone they'd ever met. They said she could hear the books breathe, that she knew every lost name. Children brought her stories to mend. Elders came with memories too fragile to hold alone. The library never wept again, because someone remembered, because someone stayed. Because sometimes the loudest stories are told by those who cannot speak. Some stories aren't just told, they're remembered by the ones who stay. If this story touched your heart, like it, share it. Tell us in the comments, what would you have given up? And don't forget to subscribe for more stories where emotion meets the unknown.